Permanent projects coming up in the public-private partnership mode are ITIs adopted by companies like the Mahindra Group near their plant in Chakan and L&T's construction training school. Also in PPP mode, addressing another gap in education, are computer training programs that have been put out across secondary schools in the state. The government has tied up with Microsoft to set up premier teacher training institutes in Nagpur, Pune and Aurangabad. So far, over 92,000 teachers have been trained, who in turn impact 46 lakh students. An MOU has now been signed to set up 3 more academies in the next 2 years, and another public-private partnership program with NIIT is making computer literacy for students in government schools a reality. This is one of the 500 state government schools in Maharashtra where NIIT is conducting its computer training program as part of the state's curriculum. The project aims to reach out to over 1.3 million children in the next 5 years. Under the contract, NIIT will set up the hardware, software and provide instructors on a turnkey model. This classroom might have been IT enabled only 6 months ago, but it's already started making a tremendous difference to confidence levels of the students here.
स्कूल के बच्चों ने मुझे नहीं लगता कि इससे पहले कभी कंप्यूटर पर बैठे होंगे। मैं खुद ही नहीं बैठी थी, अब मुझे मौका मिला कंप्यूटर पर बैठने का, तो मुझे इससे बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ और स्कूल के बच्चों को भी इससे बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ है। वो कंप्यूटर से उनका उतना नॉलेज भी बढ़ा और उन्हें बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ।
In next 3 years, number one, I want to see that those who are admitted in the government schools, they should feel honored that I have come to a good school. So to make them a quality school, that is my first plan. My teachers, I will see that their quality goes up. Basically, I want to make my system so transparent that the educationist or the those who run the education schools, they don't have to come to Mantralaya for smaller things.
And it was to bring in this sort of transparency and weed out leakages in the system that the Education Department conducted the first ever student census last month across the state. This drive comes after a revelation earlier this year that in Nanded district, nearly 20% students did not exist on the rolls, but the schools availed huge grants in their names.
Having a census of the different schools, it's not a one-time job. You require a monitoring. That is the most important thing, monitoring. Let me tell you, few very, let me give you some examples. While having the census of these school-going students, we found out there are number of illegal schools operating in the different areas. We are finding that in many schools, teacher not going in on time. So it's very important that framing a rule is very important, but more important is a monitoring.
Monitoring and regular communication also play a role in addressing problem areas. All district headquarters are connected to the head office in Mumbai, and stock-taking meetings like this one to track the progress have become the norm in the Education Department. Even within a district, various talukas are connected to the headquarters. Now that the basic networks seem to be in place, the government is considering creating virtual classrooms as well as using this medium for regular teacher training as well. Maharashtra has always had a literacy rate far above the national average. In fact, the aim of the present administration is to make this as inclusive as possible. And it was with this in mind that the state earlier this year launched the School Readiness Program. One of the tenets of the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is the adoption of a zero rejection policy so that no child is left out of the education system, not even ones with disabilities. In Maharashtra, the Education Department has adopted a variety of methods, from home-based education to community-based rehabilitation and school readiness programs like this one to make a difference. Kunal is one of the hundreds of students across the state who've benefited from this initiative. He is now part of the mainstream.
The Maharashtra Annual Status of Education Report 2010 by NGO Pratham has good news and bad. The good news first is that enrollment and attendance are high across the state. The bad news, though, is that learning standards are rather low, especially in mathematics, where almost 60% of Class 5 students cannot do simple division. The only silver lining is that Maharashtra is well above the national average.